Unbelievable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And fuck all our champions!
Good on Pepe! Goal! It doesn't get any better than that!
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
Hello everyone and welcome to Laurel Hill Park here in Secaucus. I'm Sam Lopresti for Game in Frame. Some APSL Metropolitan Conference action for you this afternoon as Hoboken FC face off against Richmond County FC. Hoboken on the fringes of the playoff race right now. They're in 5th at 24 points. They're 8 points back of Manhattan Celtic. They'll need help, but they will need to win as many games as they possibly can if they want to try to get back into it before the end of the year. As for Richmond, they are in the thick of a tight relegation battle. Everyone from 6th place on down still isn't technically out of it yet. Richmond, though, tied with Vistula Garfield for rock bottom. Vistula has a game in hand. They're a point behind Doxa in 10th. Everybody trying to scrap and climb in that one. Points are precious for both of these teams. Richmond especially. We'll have all of our action here for you on Game in Frame and on the Game in Frame YouTube channel in about 5 minutes. We'll see you then. Today's Game and Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game and Frame community an exclusive discount. Scan the QR code to get 10% off and keep it fresh. One of the Salt air cases will be the prize for our Goal of the Month winner. You'll see the Goal of the Month nominees at halftime. You can vote on the Game in Frame Instagram. Voting concludes at 11:59 p.m. tonight. Team's about ready to get out. Hoboken went into the Christmas break in 4th place, but they have not won in 2025. 2 draws, 3 losses, including a big head-to-head against Manhattan Celtic, the team ahead of them. Also, some games that you really think that they ought to have won. A 1-1 draw against Vistula, a 2-0 loss against Zum Schneider, another 1-1 draw last week against Doxa, who they beat 5-0 on this field in October. That's been a problem for Hoboken this last season and a half or so, losing or not winning games that they really ought to be. One of the things that's held them back. You remember 2 seasons ago, they barely escaped relegation. They learned from that. They were in contention for the playoffs until the very last day last year. Started out very well this season, but since the turn of the year, they have scuffled. A prime opportunity for them to get their first win of 2025 against Richmond, the newly promoted side who are fighting to stay up, along with Vistula, who almost went down last year, survived at the expense of Suffolk County FC. Captains with the coin toss. And we are about ready to get underway. Looks like it will be Hoboken to start us off. No, that's wrong. Okay, hold on. We are about ready to go. Hoboken looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Richmond there for survival. And off we go. Hoboken in all blue, Richmond in all black. And Spencer Burkhart will start things off. That's tapped out. And Richmond are going to try to come up with the ball. Putting that upfield, but that is relatively easy there for Ethan Bazan. There's Luke Smith. Into the middle. Mike Park back in defense today. Daniel Brady out after the straight red card that he saw a few weeks ago against the New York Pancyprian Freedoms. Here's Adam Garner. Into the center. That was Mike Bello that was the intended target. He scored the only goal of the game for Hoboken last week against Doxa. It's been a bit of a revolving door at striker for Hoboken this year after they lost the services of Ali Dawa, who is now playing for Lansdowne Yonkers. Into the middle, Jordan Jowers couldn't control that. And that is slammed upfield. Smith looking for the ball. Dylan Meadows trying to get out from under the defense. That one is long. And Mark Schnadstein unable to get away from Kelvin Brito there. Schnadstein, joint leading scorer on this team. Miguel Espinoza, he loses it. Didn't quite find the window looking for Bello there. Burkhart. Burkhart around one man. Burkhart into the middle. Stopped there by Kamal Burkanovich. Sun starting to poke out from behind us. Christopher Gini. Upfields. Brought back in, but right at Luke Smith. Park. Cross for Ethan Bazan. Bazan's going to put the ball in. Bazan! And that's a perfectly dropped in for Bello! What an assist by Ethan Bazan! So quick! And Hoboken have the early lead as Mike Bello rises for his second of the year. But it was the cross by Ethan Bazan that really made that one. The goal in the 4th minute. And it's time to see if Hoboken can hold this now. Getting early leads like that have not been the problem for this Hoboken team for much of the last 2 seasons, but it's holding those leads instead of giving them away. Good diagonal switch here. Here's Adam Garner now. Garner into the middle. That was Smith. Smith. Now Joseph Kress. Garner. Backed up, Kress again. Smith in a pocket of space. Smith chips that in, and it's going to be a corner kick. And Hoboken all over them, all over Richmond currently. The Richmond player, that was, I believe, Espinoza, heading over to the sideline for a quick second. I think he was discarding an extra layer. It is a little warmer than I would have expected today. It'll be Spencer Burkhart. Into the center, through everybody, and it was tapped by Richmond. I think Jetmir Kovacevic wanted a foul call there. Not going to get it. And Burkhart will go from the other side. A talking to between two players was Brito was one of them. Burkhart. And the referee is throwing out the yellow card early. He had just given a talking to the man that he showed. Can't quite catch that number. Looks like it was Schnadstein. It looked like it was Schnadstein. This is a play. Kress wide. And the referee still having words with some of the Richmond players over that yellow card call. Schnadstein is the striker, so it's unlikely that he'll get into too much extra trouble here. And he gets fouled there by Chris. Burkanovich. Richmond trying to figure out a way to play their way through Trim Saiti. Bringing it back up the line. Bazan with the interception. And then Burkhart finishes it off. That's going to go all the way back to Andrew Bordy. Kress looking for Garner. This is long for Bello. He got the other side, and that's an excellent save by Kovacevic. It's a great ball to Brown, who got the other side of Armando Guarnera. Had a good shooting opportunity. It could have been 2-0 very quickly. Another corner kick coming. And the referee has already told everybody just how vigilant he's going to be. That's headed out first man, Garner, with the second ball. And Kovacevic, very quickly down to collect that one. Here's Brkanovic. Trying to stride up with it a little bit. Flips it, but Schnadstein losing his footing. That was just a tangle of his own legs. I was surprised when we got to the field today just how dry this artificial turf is, given the wet weather we've been having over the past weekend. This turf is practically bone dry. If you dig your hand into the rubber pellets underneath, you'll find a little bit of damp. But this is in excellent condition right now. We don't have any concerns about one false move causing a problem. Brkanovic. Burkhart poked his foot out there, and a foul against Luke Smith. Saiti going long. And that's Peter Gini, who was not able to keep hold of that. Bazan doing everything today. He's dropping dimes with his crosses. He's holding the Richmond attack on his side relatively quiet. Here's Garner. Smith. Here's Mike Park laying out of position in that back four. Bazan with the pressure on Dylan Meadows. He's got to go all the way back to Kovacevic. And Garner will just walk this one out. Pass was behind Schnadstein. Burkhart brings it back. Park. And now Bordy is played all the way around to Brito. He'll move it up now. Bazan. Jowers has it poked away, but it's still Hoboken's ball. 14th minute here. It is 1-0 after the goal 10 minutes ago by Mike Bello. That's a mistake by Brito there, giving it away. Here's Schnadstein. And the penalty is called there. Park, I didn't think Park touched him. I thought that Schnadstein had gone down under his own footing there. It looked from my vantage point like there was a gap between Park and Schnadstein. Richmond, though, have a huge opportunity to even this up after having been second best for the majority of this half. We'll see. Here we go. In. Schnadstein with his 8th of the year. And it's 1-1 after a quarter of an hour. Hard to tell whether or not that was a correct call or not, but there wasn't a whole lot of protest from Park. Might be that he knew what was coming. As you were then, 15 minutes in. Garner fires that one in. It's put straight up into the air by Guarnera. Hoboken back with it. Garner looking for Bello. It's over his head. Espinoza working against Jowers. He fires that in. Here's Schnadstein. Leaves it off. Park across to poke that away. It was Meadows who was in position there. This is what we were just talking about with Hoboken, is getting the early leads but then not keeping them. Burkhart dispossessed. We've seen all results from that scenario. We've seen draws, we've seen losses, we've seen Hoboken get their footing back and win. Guarnera. Brkanovic. Into the middle. Chris Gini. Making a turn is Giuseppe Barone. Gini slipped and fell. And that will roll over the line for a goal kick. And that might have given Christopher Gini a little bit of a knock there. Running it off though. Here's Bazan. Been good on that left flank so far. Smith. Gets that out from his man. This is going to be Jowers. Pushing it forward. Into the middle. That is Kovacevic, who makes that play. Up to Espinosa. Here's Meadows. Meadows across, and it's in! Schnadstein again! 2 quick-fire goals 4 minutes apart, and it's Richmond who are in front. Dylan Meadows going through the channel and centering it perfectly. And you have to wonder, with the center back pairing a little bit makeshift, if something's off there. Hoboken need to pick themselves up. The 19th minute, that second goal by Mark Schnadstein. Brito. Here's Bazan. Bazan looking down the line, trying to push that forward for Burkhart. All that Richmond can really do there is bail it out. This is looking for that. Did that stay in? It did not. Kovacevic was trying to avoid a corner there on the deflected ball by Smith. Fourth corner of the match for Hoboken. Burkhardt into the center. That trickles out and a shot at a goal! Punch, counter punch. Two-two. First minute goal for Hoboken. Apologies for not identifying that goal scorer. There seems to be a issue with the roster sheets and we don't have that player's name and number matched up properly. Richmond immediately going long and Schnadstein fouling Brito. That's going to be the area where Schnadstein has to be careful after picking up that booking. Jowers, and he was offside. Sun finally breaking through the clouds after a couple of really gray days here in the New York metropolitan area. Andrew Bordy's going to come out for that. He's one of the best in the league at commanding his box like that. This is backed up to Park. Brito. Now Bazan. Bazan. Still going. Ethan Bazan. Eventually gives that away to Saiti. Couldn't quite get that. And that's a great tackle there by Adam Garner. Schnadstein was looking for a whistle. He wasn't going to get it. Into the middle. Just a little too high for Brown. Sorry, not Brown. For Bello. Kovacevic almost spilled that one too. Espinoza looking for some contact there, and then he takes Brito down. This game has had a fiery start as we enter the 25th minute. Already 2-2. Brito slow to get up, and that's not something that Hoboken would want to see given the lack of depth they're currently dealing with in that center back position. Now he's back up. Makes you wonder why you don't see any of the players from Hoboken 2 in the CSL coming up. They've got two very good center backs down there in Mitch Hoffert and Kyle Dixon. Here's a long one. Headed away from Bello by Peter Genie. Here's Brian Carolou. Now Christopher Genie on the other side. Guarnera. Fireworks so far in this half, and there is plenty of time for even more before we go to the break. Another 20 minutes. Genie. That's stopped immediately. Genie able to slow up that run. Hoboken will reset. Back out to the right. Here's Garner. Garner cutting in, puts that low, and it's dug out by Guarnera. Here's Espinoza. Across the field for Meadows. Schnadstein alone on that side of the box. It's not the guy you want alone right now. Into the middle. Headed way up, and Joseph Kress won't let Espinoza take a swing at it. Bello can't hold it up either. Richmond coming back. Espinoza was offside. There have been holes in that back line for Richmond to get through. Bordy moves it out to the right. Garner. Put that one behind Bello. And it'll be a goal kick. If you're looking for some more action in the APSL, we've got quite a bit of it coming for you next week. On the 10th of April, 9 p.m., New York Pan Cyprian Freedoms against Central Park Rangers. Then on the 13th, next Sunday, right back here at Laurel Hill Park, Hoboken will be playing CPR. And at 8 p.m., the Pan Cyprians will be playing Kid Super Samba. Bazan ends up getting the throw-in off Peter Genie. Here's Luke Smith. Smith really deprived of his partner in crime for the second half of the season with Anthony Donaldson. He won't be available. There was a family tragedy that necessitated him returning home for a while. Donaldson, a very creative player. He created a lot of danger for Hoboken, and he dovetailed with Smith very well. Espinoza. That's stopped well by Garner. Curlew was the one that pass was going for, and now here's Genie. Curlew. Saiti. Guarnera. Curlew. Espinoza. Espinoza's been floating, looking for Schnadstein through, but Garner again intercepting that. And now Garner the target of that ball. But Burkanovich got to the ball first, but then shanked his clearance. Garner flips that past Genie. Curlew could only put it right back into Garner's path after he got it away from Smith. Bello wants something into the middle. He's going to get one from Garner. Chest down, and a great save Another one from Kovacevic. Brito puts him down. It's going to be a corner, throw-in, sorry. That's twice now that Kovacevic has made some pretty good saves. Denying Bello there. He took it off of, took one away from Spencer Burkhart earlier. Here's Barone. Loses it. It's going to be a throw-in, though. Half an hour in, a little bit more. It is 2-2 already. Points are precious for Richmond, especially, and we're going to have a free kick after Brito goes down in the box. That's a long pass for Bazan, but it was a little short and it was intercepted by Meadows. Hoboken back with it though. Burkhart wants to find Bello. Bello, flag is down, but his shot was tame. Good ball by Burkhart, splitting a couple of defenders, but Bello didn't quite get that into his feet the way he wanted it. Brito with a clearance. Guarnera. Genie. Able to poke it away from Luke Smith at the last second. Bello impatient for some more service. Here's Chris Genie. Back to Burkanovic. Guarnera. That's into the middle. Park unable to win that, but Schnadstein didn't either. Quick fire double for Mark Schnadstein. Initially had Richmond up 2-1 after Mike Bello scored a early one in the 4th minute off a pretty cross from Ethan Bazan. Hoboken evening it up on a corner kick a few minutes after that. Guarnera. Upfield. Looking for Peter Genie. He tries to center that, but it's only right back to Jowers. Burkhart. He needs to be the creative one. Here is Adam Garner being brought into play. Garner pushing it forward on the wing. Garner again. Now Luke Smith. Press. Smith. Pushed by Espinoza. He's going to back that all the way up to Brito. Bazan. Bazan, another ball in. This time it is collected by Kovacevic. Flag had gone up on Bello anyway. But Garner picking up the punt. Along the ground towards the sideline. That's Bazan. Smith coming across the field to help. Brito. Park. There are more goals in this game. You have to think. Tight roping the line, and they'll back it up again. Burkhart. Kress. Able to push that forward. And that is tipped at the source. And Guarnera and Kovacevic both looking for the ball there, and Kovacevic had it covered, but Guarnera puts it out for the throw. Garner won't go long with this. Here's Kress. Jowers. Bazan. Now Burkhart. Brito. Over the top. And an offside flag against Luke Smith. Richmond getting it done quickly. That was a nice play there by Meadows. Meadows is off and running. Kress coming across to help. Espinoza. Espinoza gets around and he puts it in! Garner couldn't stop him! And it's 3-2. Richmond regain the lead in the 38th minute. Garner almost looked like he was trying to get a call there. I think he might have known that he had no chance to stop Espinoza. That's his second goal of the year. And Hoboken back. Chasing the game again. Game that they had the lead in 4 minutes in. Against a team that by all rights has no business leading this game if you look at the standings. A win here, if Richmond can somehow keep this, would be a grenade thrown into the relegation race. Would be bad news for a lot more people. Kerlew. That's easy for Bordy. Jowers. Now back to Brito. Hoboken. It's a long one by Park. Diagonal cutting in. Smith trying to flick up. I don't think anybody realized that was where he wanted to go with it. Bello is going to pick up a corner kick, though. Last time Hoboken put the ball in from here, they tied the game at 2. 5 minutes until the half. Into the middle, and that is headed well over by Brito. Just a reminder, at halftime we'll be showing you the nominees for the March Goal of the Month. You can vote for your favorite goal on the Game and Frame Instagram page. Voting is open until 11:59 tonight. The prize for the winner, a Salt Air Case. Burkhart switching wings again. They've done that a couple of times now in this half. Burkhart trying to tip that around Curlew, but Saiti was right there. Here's Espinoza. His goal, the difference right now. That was a rather blatant grab. Jowers. Now Park. Park going long. Bello brings it down. Bello looking for the near corner. Didn't have much in the way of support there. A rollicking first half. Almost coming to a close. Here's Meadows. Joseph Press takes that away from him. Pushing forward. Guarnera can't get that clear, but eventually gets it away. And it is Richmond's throw. Bazan, I think, missing that signal. Schnedstein going down under pressure from Brito, a little bit theatrical there. 2 minutes to play, plus any added time. Which we might have a little bit, given that we've had 5 goals in this half. Brito still discussing things with the referee. That is high into the left side of the box. Espinoza went down hard on his shoulder. He's still down, and the referee has stopped play. Garner was there was some heavy touching, heavy hit there on Espinoza, who went down hard on his shoulder. Kamal Burkanovic is pleading the case for a infraction to be called there, but referee deemed that one to be clean, but Espinoza took the worst of it for sure. Trainer out onto the field. And now we definitely are going to have a little bit of stoppage time before this first half ends. We are, in fact, about to click into stoppage time.
Mickey Mouse Doctor. I would have done a better job, honestly.
It's going to be a drop ball for Hoboken. I believe Hoboken. Espinoza will have to leave the pitch for a moment. Three minutes of stoppage time. Garner. Hoboken with a couple more minutes to try to respond before halftime, and a foul as Jowers was being harried by the midfield stripe. Now Kress. Bazan. Espinoza is looking for permission to come back on. Hoboken are playing against 10 men right now. Now Espinoza is back on. Serve toward the back post. Over everyone. Got a couple of balls back in that expanse of the softball field behind the goal that are going to have to be recovered at the half for sure. Kovacevic, not going to be the one. It's going to be Guarnera who takes that through. Guarnera, I don't know where that came from. Meadows. Harried by Brito. There will be a foul call. Into the third minute of added time here. Meadows going to look to put this one in. That one bounces and it's cleared. And that's skewed a little bit by Genie, but Guarnera is there. Brito. Looks up the middle. He had a man out here on the right. Perhaps didn't. That one is out of play. And that is going to end it. A eventful first half, to say the least. Halftime here at Laurel Hill Park. Richmond County with a surprising 3-2 lead against Hoboken. We're halfway home at Laurel Hill Park. And we'll bring you to our March game of goal of the month nominees. We'll be right back.
What's the stripe on here? Oh, it's a tempting one from Bowden-Basher!
Travis Van Brewer is back on. There's a shot! What a shot! CPR back on top! Fayez Merchant!
An inward swinger, right-footed, toward the far post, bouncing up ahead of an FC Westchester player. Oh! What a goal! Goal! Golazo! FC Westchester! A stunning bicycle kick.
Okay, looking to buy himself a free kick. Referee not fooled by that. Sharnath, lovely first touch. And a searching ball. Kawasi cuts inside. Oh, it's a glorious second goal for Manhattan Celtic. A super ball by Sharnath. And by Kawasi, brought it down and finished sublimely.
Harasabovic sends it long for Kurcic. He chests it down, has a shot over the head and into the net. What a goal! Incredible work to tie this game for Sanjak. It's level at 1.
Milton. Shot on goal. Oh my word! Off the upright. Had great dip, good power.
Good touch by LB Rexa. Tries to get it back. Down the other way. Go International. Is there space to keep that one in? It is Ryan on the far side. Hunting for something. Has a shot. What a goal! My goodness! Picks out the top corner. International have a lead. 3-1v2, 3v3 now. Cam Park coming back to provide some reinforcement. Mark the strike. Mark the goal! A beautiful strike, a hammer.
Good turn there in the shot. And a goal! What a beautiful turn and finish.
Bongbiel has the ball, takes a shot, rips it from outside the 18 and goal!
From perhaps that defensive error. Still with Paxton. Paxton to toward Dagan. Dagan inside the 18-yard box. Dribbles away from 2, 3. Dagan! Goal for Brooklyn United!
Munoz has moved out to the right. Rio, just enough of a touch back heel. Cook Jr. could be a shot. Hurtado Gomes, 1-0. His 9th goal of the season for Tomas de Andrade Gomes. Comes inside from left wing, finishes to the left side of the net. Good finish, clean finish, 1-0 Zoom Schneider.
Suarez, Saluga, trying to go through. Oh my word! It's Merchant again! Oh, he's got the brace.
Of today, especially in the second half. FC Westchester. Oh! What a missile! FC Westchester with a tremendous goal. 2-2.
Spin the shoulders and start the counter. What a ball to Verma. And that ball's hit. What a strike! My goodness! What a hit from Luke Hill.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game and Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Back here at Laurel Hill Park. Some housekeeping to be done for everybody. The identity of Hoboken's second goal scorer, number 15, Ewan Sanchez. There was a slight mix-up on the roster sheet and didn't want to speculate as to who matched up to what number for the sake of everybody. Apologies to Ewan and any of his connections for not using his name in it at all in the first half. It is 3-2, Richmond County leading Hoboken FC here at Laurel Hill Park. A surprising result. Richmond tied for the bottom of the division along with Vistula Garfield. These were not points that you would expect them to be picking up. If they do, it would throw a grenade into the relegation race for sure. Hoboken, if they want any opportunity to climb back into the playoff race, need to start winning games, and quickly. They have to get themselves back into their swing. We do have a substitution for Hoboken. Adam Yingling, number 17, is on. He replaces Mike Bello. Sanchez has moved into the number 9 spot. Ethan Bazan dropped a beautiful cross in to Bello for Hoboken's first goal in the 4th minute, at a point where you thought that Richmond might be in for a long afternoon. Instead, they have picked themselves up. One other change in the back line for Hoboken. Justinian Michaels, number 11, has come in. Kelvin Brito has stepped away. That's into the middle, but picked off by Brian Curlew. That one flying over towards Bazan, and Giuseppe Barone unable to bring that one down. Adam Garner. Richmond wanting an offside flag against Spencer Burkhart. They won't get it. Hoboken plays on. Michaels. Here's Bazan. Looking for Sanchez. He put it over his head, though. Here is Mark Schnadstein. Miguel Espinoza, the 2 goal scorers for Richmond, combining there. Schnadstein scoring 2, 1 from the spot. Before Espinoza put Richmond back up 3-2. Goals from Brown and Sanchez for Hoboken. Park shielding off Schnadstein. Schnadstein, the only player with a yellow card to his name. Bordy. Yingling backs it up. Sanchez comes back. Sanchez and Smith swapping places up top. Looking like they're trying to go misdirection a little bit. Garner mishit that pass. He was trying to put that up into the middle of the box, but it went low instead. Saiti gets through the tackle of Kress, but Yingling able to inject himself into the line of the ball. Bordy. Looked like he was moving a little strangely there. Meanwhile, Jordan Jowers moving. Jowers into the box. Jowers still. Jowers now fires, and Smith might have gotten the last touch to it, but Jetmir Kovacevic, excuse me, Kovacevic brings that in. Kovacevic has did make a couple of excellent saves in that first half. Denied Bello a second. Put Spencer Burkhart away as well. Here's Yingling. Yingling cutting in. Yingling! That's off of Armando Guarnera, the block, but that was a good play by Yingling to get into a shooting position. Jowers brings in Garner. Garner across the box. Guarnera slices it behind. Corner kick for Hoboken. They had 5 of them in the first half. They evened things up at 2 on one of them. Burkhart. It's Michaels! Michaels! Justinian Michaels! Took one shot that was blocked, stayed with it, and fired it home. And in the 52nd minute, we are tied at 3. First one for Michaels. It's the second time Hoboken have picked up a goal off of a corner kick. Again, the second ball proving deadly for them. This is Peter Genie. Meadows. Backing up to Guarnera. Luke Smith gonna press up. Here's Bazan. Genie gets away from Bazan here, but he recovers. And a low cross easily cleared by Michaels. You can tell that Hoboken know that these points are important for them too. They immediately took the ball and ran it back to the center spot. They did not stop to celebrate. They want this game won. That's Barone, Meadows, Espinosa, Curlew, Genie, into the middle, Bordy. Beats Meadows to it. One of the best keepers in the league when it comes to commanding that box is Andrew Bordy. Burkhart. Smith. Angles that one out for Bazan. Return to Smith. In for Yingling. Yingling. No call there against Saiti. Curlew trying to get through. That's Sanchez, and Curlew is going to be called for the foul, and he's going to get a yellow card here for a professional foul. Second booking of the day, both have gone to Richmond. And Curlew has been active in the middle of the park, so Richmond might have to think about how much longer he's going to be on the field. This is Joseph Kress standing. They're going to take this short. Yingling. Espinoza deflects it. It's another corner. And at this point, if you're Richmond, you do not want these coming at you. Sun is back behind the clouds behind us. It broke out a little bit late in the first. Burkhart, that's headed away. Garner mishits that. Chris Genie, who went up to head that clear. Richmond do have a height advantage on the field at the moment. Burkhart with the interception. Sanchez stepped in front of it. Burkanovich. Curlew. Barone. Here's Schnadstein looking up the line to make sure. Michaels pushes him away, but it's left. It is a goal. It was Meadows who tapped the ball in. Hoboken trying to get an explanation as to why there was no offside call. But it looked as though it was played backwards, and Richmond in front again. 57th minute, it's 4-3. Hoboken have been chasing this game for a long time now, in a game that they really ought to expect to win. That one over Yingling. Kovacevic gets it and blasts it upfield. Schnadstein, 2 goals and an assist, and a foul there against Michaels on the wing. For Meadows, his first goal of the year. Espinoza, let's see if he decides to put that in for the heads or if he tries to swing it for a top corner. Right on the edge. Also looks like he might be able to roll it across to Meadows. He's going to take this. It's right into Bordy's gut. He'll roll it out for Garner. Hoboken looking for their first win of 2025. Yingling, that ball is disrupted by Genie. Here's Meadows. High in the air. That takes a bounce. Michaels had to remove that ball from Schnadstein. Headed back by Curlew. Now here's Yingling. Jowers fighting against Curlew. Here's Burkhart. He's got Garner moving down the right side. Garner. Ooh, that one a little bit in front of Jowers. Luke Smith very nearly on the end of that, but it was picked up. Bordy is coming out. He taps that away from Schnadstein. Kress. Smith. That's poked out, but easy for Michaels to pick up. Barone with a press. Jowers able to slip that out to Kress. Here's Smith now. Sanchez. Sanchez looking for Bazan on the far side. It's headed away, but Bazan does eventually get possession, but he's into the middle of the box. Sanchez is on the back end. Sanchez looking for a shot. That was Guarnera getting a foot in. Don't know if that would have bent back. Now here come Richmond on the counter. Schnadstein. He's got runners. Schnadstein. Michaels, and that's a goal, and that is no offside. That could have been a big one, extending this lead to 2, but that final touch came from an offside position. That's a rough touch by Yingling. Barone can't get past Bazan. Sorry for the technical difficulty there. That's got a throw in for Hoboken. Jowers trying to sneak through. Genie trying to wrestle him out. That is a goal kick. Yingling trying to run in at the last second to poke that ball off the line. But the referee saying it did go in. It did go across. Long ball. They're really attacking with these long balls for Schnadstein. Bordy gets that out to Garner. Some changes coming for Hoboken. You can see Tristan Barquin is one of the players that's waiting to come on. Second one might be Emmett Aller. Espinoza gliding through. Espinoza across for Peter Genie. First time Michaels sticks out a foot. Guarnera. That's a good ball in for Barone, who wanted a handball there, but the referee ruling it too close. Garner looking for an outlet. Finds it in Burkhart. Smith trying to get... Sorry, that was Kress trying to get through. But it's Park. Deep for Luke Smith. But not before Genie can get to him. Bazan and Meadows fighting, and the call is going to be made. Changes are coming on. 2 for Hoboken, 1 for Richmond. And Ewan Sanchez is stepping away. And so is Ethan Bazan. Tristan Barkwin on at the left back spot. Up in the air again. Header, a little wide. Referee saying that it came off of Richmond last. Here's Tristan Barkwin's first touch. And leaves that one behind Yingling. That's past Michaels. Here's Schnadstein, and Bordy with a great save. And it came back off of Schnadstein, so it's going to be a goal kick. Bordy possibly keeping his team in this game with that one. But Carlew stepping in front of Burkhart there, but he quickly loses it. Garner. Yingling puts that perfectly for Jowers. Jowers, goal! '68th minute, it's 4-4. Eight goals already, and we've still got 22 minutes to play. That one coming from open play on a great ball by Yingling for Jowers. First of the year for Jowers, a mid-season addition. Now can Hoboken try to pick up the momentum and use it? Curlew out for Barone. Barone in for Meadows, but that's Kress moving it away. Yingling. Barkwin. Sliced that a little bit, but Park gets in front of Schnadstein. And that is going to roll down to Park. Looking for Jowers, who's now the farthest forward. And in that false 9 spot has been rotating a little bit, although Espinoza, he was looking for that, and the referee says get up. Smith. Jowers. Jowers still going through. Jowers slips his men. This is Yingling off the post! Borkwin save! They'll take the corner short. Yingling. That's blocked. He's going to loft that up into the air. Kress keeps it inside the attacking third for Hoboken. Here's Yingling. Trying to force that into Smith. It's going to be a Hoboken ball. Hoboken very nearly retook the lead for the first time since the 14th minute. There's a shot that goes wide from Emmett Aller. It was deflected, though. It's going to be another corner. This is, I think, 8 or 9 at this point for Hoboken. There is another sub waiting at the touchline for Richmond. Into the middle, Burkhart. He'll back that up to Park. Back to Burkhart. Sorry, that was Garner. That's Burkhart. Barkwin. Kress. Lofts it. Looking for Yingling. A little too hard, but Barkwin was there. That's taken away. Meadows. Curlew. Espinoza. Here's Curlew. Backing it up. Genie. Espinoza. Espinoza trying to get his way through. Park. The ball in, went off of Michaels. It looked like it was off his hand. Looked like it was off his chest, rather. The goal, though, for Schnadstein. A hat trick for Mark Schnadstein. It's 5-4 Richmond lead again. Richmond were calling for a handball against Michaels. It looked like it went off his chest. But then a ball up for Schnadstein. He heads it in at an angle, his third of the afternoon. Richmond refusing to play the part of the bottom side here. And Hoboken again need to chase the game, and that one hurts even more after Yingling hit the post. Yingling into the center, headed out by Guarnera. Barone. Schnadstein already with a hat trick. Now he's trying to move again. Michaels slows him up and forces him wide. Michaels forcing Schnadstein. Oof. Yingling was looking for Jowers there. He wins that one fairly. Andrea Ruggiero is the man that's down. there's a Ruggiero. It's a hefty challenge, but it looked fair. Referee called it as such. Ruggiero, who just came on, and Ruggiero still favoring, and he's Ruggiero will step away for a moment, and I think Schnadstein may be doing the same. As some changes, yeah, Schnadstein is off after a hat trick. 3 of Richmond's 5.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Hoboken will resume play here. Burkhart. Aller. In traffic. Jowers fighting for it. Garner. He loses that to Espinoza. Let's see if Richmond can counter again. Good play by Smith there. Smith still moving. And an offside flag flies up. That looked difficult to understand. Looked like Garner had come from so deep. Now these long balls by Richmond are going to be a little less effective, I think, with Schnadstein off the field. That was a lot of height. That was proving very difficult for Michaels and Park to deal with. Michaels, Park. Giuseppe Barone is the furthest up the field. That wall slammed right past Burkhart. And Kovacevic will wait to pick it up. 13 minutes plus stoppage time. 9 goals already in this game. Bordy takes that away from Barone. They're going to build again. Kress. Aller in traffic. That squeaks out to Espinoza, but he leaves it behind. Kress. And a foul called against Espinoza. And the referee does not want Richmond so close to that free kick. Mike Park. Now Garner. Burkhart. Put behind by Demian Turi, one of the new players on the field for Richmond. That's Jowers. His pass is stopped. Garner hooking it back in. Aller almost left that short. Curlew down, but Kress had position there. But now Richmond are going to move. Dylan Meadows with Barquin chasing him, and Barquin takes it off of him. Curlew is back up. Here's Smith. That is over the top for Jowers. Jowers needs some help there, and it came too late. Peter Genie, and now Curlew is down again. And they're playing, and Espinoza is pulling back, is going to pull Kress back. That's going to be a yellow for Espinoza. The third yellow of the afternoon, and now they'll attend to Curlew, who tried to get up, but then went right back down. 10 minutes to go. And Andrea Ruggiero took a knee for a minute too. He's got some banged up Richmond players here. They have fought hard for this. This could be a huge moment for them in the relegation race. Hoboken, if they lose here, can probably say goodbye to any attempts at climbing up into fourth. Don't know the results of Manhattan Celtics match this afternoon. Dylan Meadows is leaving the field for Richmond. Curlew is currently waiting next to the fourth official. Looks like he's going to try to give it another go. Play that short for Michaels. Here's Garner. That's Turi. Richmond moving again. Turi puts it into the middle. Park heads it away. Eddie Bardich was the target. Now we're going long the other way. Guarnera just going to whack it away. Jowers trying to do something fancy. He can't get out of it. Good play there by Garner. But Burkhart loses it. Lots more action next week here on Game in Frame. New York Penn Cyprians against CPR on the 10th. Then a week from today on the 13th, Hoboken back in action against CPR at 4. The Penn Cyprians against Kids Super Samba at 8. Barquin forces Peter Genie to slam it away. Smith looking for, might have been for Aller, but it's strong enough to get all the way back to Michaels, and Hoboken will reset, but they don't have the time to do that much anymore. 7 minutes and change to go. Barquin gets by Genie that time. And a goal kick. Guarnera gets that one off of Barquin. 85th minute. There will be some stoppage time. We've had 2 injury stoppages, as well as 3 more goals. 4 more goals. Espinoza, that was tempting fate a little bit. Bouncing the ball to a teammate. He can't really afford to waste time like that because he's on a yellow. There are 2 players playing under caution for Richmond right now, him and Curlew. Here's Peter Genie. Into the middle, headed away by Michaels. Burkhart gonna try to claim this, but he mishandles it. Here's Turi. Over to the corner. And that's gonna be Richmond's ball. Hoboken are trapped in their own half right now, and they need to move this ball forward. Into the middle, Barone over the top. That would have sealed it. Ball coming in. Bordy's going to have to send this one long. No, they'll go short here. Don't know if there's time for that. Time is very much the enemy right now for Hoboken. Here's Barkwin. Barkwin, that ball is deflected off of Genie. Yingling. And that's a little bit more time wasted by Hoboken as they figure out who's taking that throw. Smith. Kress. Kress trying to move through. Aller. Park. Here's Garner. Into the box. Here's Yingling. He's blocked by Guarnera. Garner and Miguel Espinoza is there to intercept that pass, but his attempt to clear it is right back to Kress. Smith mishandles it. Espinoza. Back to Curlew. And Hoboken they're going to have a throw here. No, the call has been changed. It's going to be a throw in for Richmond now. Aller trying to get it out. He doesn't. Espinoza trying to chop inside. Barkwin. Here's Aller. Hoboken has to start thinking about saving 1 instead of picking up 3 here. Out to the side. Here's Garner. Sorry, that's Burkhart. He shoots. Kovacevic holds it. 75 seconds to go, or sorry, 90 seconds to go. Park with the header. Here's Garner. Guarnera's had a really good game. Espinoza as well. Espinoza taking the ball into the Hoboken half again. Bardich. He is taken down. And this is going to be indirect free kick range. We'll see if it adds to the stoppage time, but this is long enough, deep enough into the game that this will bleed a lot of time. Barone has come off the field. Espinoza, it looks like the one who wants to take this. James Haddad is on for Richmond. Richmond looking to goose their chances of survival with a huge victory. Espinosa off the bar! Barquin heads it away. It's going to be a corner. That ball, looks like the goal might have moved there. The referee has called that as a goal kick. 4 minutes of stoppage time. 4 minutes for Hoboken to salvage something from a performance that they would rather forget. Genie trying to find Haddad. Bordy. Hoboken needs to move the ball up the field and quickly. Long for Jowers. Those haven't been coming off very well. Curlew loses that one to Kress. Smith. Burkhart looking to try to get that one down the line. It's going to be a throw-in for Hoboken. Here's Kress. That was short, but Burkhart gets it back. Garner, early ball. That one got away from Guarnera there for a second, but Genie was there to tidy up, and now Richmond on the move. Curlew, he's got Bardich. He's going to leave it for James Haddad, but Adam Yingling jumped in front of it. That ball that Adam Yingling hit off the post, even more heartbreaking as the seconds tick by. That is blasted out. Ball back into play. Barquin. That's off and that is a handball on Haddad. So this is going to be an interesting position for Hoboken here. They want their targets up there. Andrew Bordy is even moved all the way up to the halfway line. Yingling into the box. Not a good ball. But he recovers it. That is knocked off of Guarnera, who was chasing Bordy. All he could do was push that out of play.
James, you're higher. You're much higher.
And Yingling getting that ball back. Might see a few more. Might see a minute or two more here. Some time wasted by Richmond. Upfield, Jowers. Jowers brought down! A yellow card for Guarnera. And this might be the last chance saloon. We have had our 4 minutes. Spencer Burkhart is going to stand over this free kick, which he can absolutely put on frame. He has scored from a direct free kick this year. It was against the Pancyprians. at the end of October. This is very likely the last kick of this match. Referee pacing off the wall. Burkhart hoping to salvage something from this match. Has to put this at least on frame. Give them the possibility of a rebound. If not putting it in. That is off the wall. Richmond trying to get it clear. Burkhart wants a handball. Referee's not going to give it. We are still going. Aller. Smith loses it. Espinosa. And a foul against Richmond. Hoboken will have another opportunity. This time they'll have to throw it into the box. And Andrew Bordy is up. Going into the 7th minute of added time. Spencer Burkhart looking to swing this in. Burkhart into the middle. That looked like it was heading for Smith. The goal is open. And that is wide. But that is going to be the last kick of the game. Turi thought he had one on the open goal. But at the end of the day, it won't matter. Richmond, a huge upset. They lost the reverse fixture of this 4-1 against Hoboken in October. They come to Laurel Hill and stun the men in blue. The final score, 5-4. Richmond just gave themselves a huge boost in their hunt for survival. Hoboken, another adverse result against a team that they should be beating. They are now winless in 6 to start 2025. A famous day for Richmond. A day that Hoboken are going to want to forget before they play CPR here next week. The final score one more time. Richmond County 5, Hoboken 4. For Game in Frame, I'm Sam Lopresti. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at our next match.